Now you can see that the arrow design actually looks quite nice. I'm happy with it. You can always change the angle a little bit. Luckily this is mirrored, so on the other side it will do the same thing for me. And I will start extruding the pieces that are not connected because I want separate objects out of these. So go to Create and go to Extrude. You can also use the hotkey E for that. I will do that right now. And you can see that the window Extrude appears and it will tell you what to do next. So you need to select the profiles. And the profiles are the 2D sketches that we created. And you can only extrude profiles that have this light blue coloring. So we select this bow, we select the point, and we select the feathers. Because these three I want to create a organic looking relief from. And I'm going to make sure that these are new bodies in the operation mode. And then I will turn my view and see the arrow here. I can also type it into this field here or into the distance field in the window, but I want to see what it looks like out of this arrow where I can pull out the 3D object. So right now I want this to be 1 millimeter in height. I think that's enough height for creating a nice relief for using for printing, 3D printing, and for sandcasting. Then hit OK. Now I have 3 different objects. You can see it here in the browser as well. If you click on your bodies menu, you see body 1, 2, and 3. The next thing we want to do is create this nice rounded relief on top of these 3 objects. And for that, we move from the solid mode into the surface mode. So left click here on surface and you see that every function becomes orange now. So the surface mode is different from the solid mode. When you are in solid mode and click here on the surface and try to delete it, nothing happens. It gives you an arrow. You cannot delete just this face in this mode. If you move to surface mode, however, you click here, delete, and you can see that just this surface, this simple face, disappeared, and you have an open object. So you can see it here in the browser. Your body is not a solid body anymore, but it's a surface. So it has just 1, 2, 3 surfaces all together. You can see it here in brackets. And that means that you actually cannot export it in an STL file because it's not a solid body. We will change that right now by patching this up. And by patching it up, you can make a relief out of it. So go to Create and then go to Patch. Then there's another new window appearing and it will tell you to select the boundary edges. What does that mean? The boundary edges are the edges here that you've just deleted the surface from, and the edge gives you like a border of what you actually want to patch together. So click on the edges, and then you see that it just wants to create a flat surface right now. If you go back to your window, however, you can go to edge 1, for example, left click on this and then go to curvature. And you can instantly see that the edge 1, this one here, creates a nice curved body on top of it. So that's the desired effect. We want something more organic looking. And then we go to curvature here as well. And that's it. Click OK. And so this piece of our bow and arrow is complete. And then we want to use this one here. Delete it. Also delete. Then go back to patch. Click on this edge and this edge. Then we have them all together in one window. Then click on curvature for each. This is another important reason why you don't want to have too many edges and too many points in each of your spline when you start in your sketch mode, because then you just have loads of edges that you need to check. Okay, so everything worked out. all the curvature points. If something gives you an error, then just go back to connected if it doesn't work for the curvature. And then it's usually something in your sketch design. So then you have to go back to your sketch in your timeline. Just going to click OK. And then you need to go back to, go on right click and then edit sketch. And then you need to make sure that here, this part or any kind of narrow part is a bit wider in the angle here, and then usually that works. So then finish sketch. Then you can go back to your patch mode and edit the feature and make sure that it works. Okay, so now in the browser, you see that the bodies have all these different orange symbols here. So they're not solid bodies right now. You can zoom in and see that the surface that you've created is actually not connected to the other part here. And that's something we can easily fix. So you need to go to Modify and Stitch. And we need to stitch this surface to the 3 other surfaces together. So we click here, and usually you get a green light so that you can actually connect them. If it's red, then maybe you need to change the tolerance and make it a bit higher here so that it's possible to be connected, because sometimes the space in between is a bit too big and it cannot find the edge together. And then you select this one and this one and this, and then click OK. And you can see in your browser that your bodies are solid bodies again. Great, now you can go to the front view and see that the 3 pieces that are supposed to look organic have that nice rounded shape. So now you go to your browser, make sure that the sketch is visible again. So you click on this little eye here and extrude all the other pieces. We go to solid mode, click E for extrude, and click on all these pieces here that still need to be extruded. Then turn your view and click on the arrow. I will select 1 millimeter, type it in now. And I want to make sure that the operation is joined. So all these separate pieces now are one body. And I click OK. Okay, so we move on now to the coin. And we draw a new sketch on that plane again. Create a sketch. Then select the plane, which is our X and Y plane. And start sketching a center diameter circle. You can find that under Create, Circle, Center Diameter Circle. It also has a hotkey behind it. So that's something you will definitely use more often than just once. So yeah, you can either click here and select it or click C. Then we zoom in, place center point here on the 0, 0 point. It also locks in and snaps. You can see that, left click, let go of the left click, and then move your mouse outside of that starting point. Just move it to anywhere you like. You can now type in 20 millimeters already, or if you've already clicked and you have the circle appearing, and you don't have this fixated as 20 millimeters, then you can always go to Sketch Dimensions. You can find it under Create and Sketch Dimensions. Click on your circle, move inwards with your mouse, and then left click again and type in the diameter that you want. If I do this now, then Fusion will give me an error because I already defined it, so I'm just going to click Escape. Okay, cool. Now we have that circle for a coin. Now we also want to create, like we've done here, we want to create this rim. So we go back to our design and we want to have a line a circle that goes from here to here and has a distance of 0.5. So we just use offset for that. Go to modify and offset. Then click on the curve. And we don't want this to be outside of this 20 millimeter circle. We want this to be inside. So we need to add a minus 0.5. And then hit enter. And then do this again for the rim to be a profile. And go to offset. Click on the circle. Minus 1.1. Then hit enter. And then you can see here that the distance from the inner circle is 0.5 and the other distance 1.1. If you don't have the offset function selected and you just created a circle with some kind of distance to it, then the other circles are not connected to the outside circle. So if I choose to double click here and want to have 25 millimeters, all the circles will keep that distance from the outer circle. So offset is always great to create a constraint, and so you don't have the circle flying around and you need to change the distance again. So they're all interconnected, which we want as a CAD designer and someone who wants to reuse this file again, maybe. Okay, so finish the sketch. I'm just gonna keep it at 25 millimeters now. Then I want to extrude the coin. So I will click on E and select all these profiles. Then I want to extrude this to 1.5 millimeters. You have to go negative for this one again because we've already lifted the relief here. And it's okay that you join these together. So now this body 7 includes the coin and the relief. And now we go back to the sketch in the browser and we want to make the sketch 2 visible again because now we want to create the rim. So hit E for extrude again, click on this part, then extrude it by 0.5 millimeters. Join this together with the coin. And there we go. The rim is created. So to have a nice, can't think of the English word right now, but to make this have a lovely slope by using fillet, we can make it nice and round, like I've created on my other coin. And we just click on fillet and then you can select the edge here and the edge here. And if you push the arrow, you can make this super wide slope, but I just want to use 0.5 for this example. It's up to you, obviously, what you want to create, but I'm just going to use it like this. Okay, so okay. And there we go. We have our coin. So the next thing you want to do if you want to make a solid physical piece out of it, you need to 3D print it with someone you know or use a company for it. I bet if you Google 3D printing service, you can find a lot of different services. The big ones are Xometry. I think it's connected to Fusion as well. Then there's iMaterialize, and Shapeways is back in business again. So you have 3 different options that are the big players. Then you have maybe local studios that can print something for you. I would definitely go for a resin print because then you have a nice smooth surface for your master piece, which you can then use as the relief for sandcasting. So make sure that when you export your body, so click on right click, then save as mesh, left click, get the window, we can select STL binary, millimeters, and make sure that your refinement settings is on high, and then click OK. And you type in coin, design, whatever you want to do, and then save it to your computer downloads or whatever place you select, and then save. And then you can use that STL file and upload it to the 3D printing service. And yeah, I hope this helped a lot with creating a relief in Fusion. I hope you followed along through this tutorial and I hope it was insightful. And I also hope that you follow along and register to the channel, the YouTube channel, and see all the other videos that I will upload soon. Thank you for watching.